What's happening? Man, I'm coming at y'all, coming to you from Georgia. Georgia. Yeah, I've been out here, you know, um, talking my twain out here, just playing around with y'all, trying to show off. I'm not actually from Georgia. I'm from Middle Tennessee. I lost my Tennessee accent. I'm from Middle Tennessee, and I used to have a deep twang, man. And people, they convinced me that I was too country and stuff. So I started trying to clean up the twang and everything like that. I wish I would have known what I had. Stood on the accent, stood on my moral. Um, I wish I would have never lost it. To be honest with you, it was real. And I ain't got, some people, they'll tell me that I'm still country, but trust me, man. Trust me. If you actually heard me back then, you would have known what country really was, man. I let them convince me to clean it up and everything, and I wish I wouldn't have. But yeah, I want to talk to you today. I was gonna talk to you at first about imposter syndrome, and what people that didn't understand about imposter syndrome, which is the fact that I know that everybody feels it to some extent, but definitely the creatives definitely feel that stuff. People like me, people who are into the arts, people that are into poetry, people that are into music, people that are creating videos like this, people that are doing all that stuff. Whenever you put yourself out there, you're gonna feel that feeling that you don't want to put yourself out there. We live in a world where people want to destroy you, where people are gonna try to kill you. People are gonna try to kill your dreams. People are always gonna try to discourage you. People are always gonna try to ruin you. You ain't gonna be able to go forward if you're constantly just letting those people who are looking to destroy you and ruin you, and make you feel like you ain't shit when they're not shit. You know what I'm saying? They ain't shit, but they want to talk to you like you shit, like you ain't shit, you know? And they'll talk about you, they'll spread rumors about you, affect how other people feel about you, and everything like that. When you're a person that moves forward, no matter what life throws at you, all of a sudden these motherfuckers they look to go even harder. They want to destroy you. They hate you for being that person who doesn't let anything ruin you. Bro, I got people that hate the fuck out of me because I refuse to quit. I know a lot of those little quitting ass, weak ass motherfuckers, little tampon boy motherfuckers, and they'll try to deter me and deter my name, make me feel like I ain't what I am, and you know what the fuck I am. But you know what? I let it go because I don't want to give attention to those motherfuckers because they ain't shit. But you know, yeah, people call them, crabs in a barrel, but I don't call them crabs in a barrel. I call them bitches. They probably have crabs, but I don't call them crabs, just bitches. They try to destroy you and deter you and tear you down, but you just got to keep on going. You can't let anything stop you. No matter what comes your way, you can't let it deter you. You got to keep going no matter what. That's why, that's part of me doing these videos here right now on YouTube and everything is because I decided not to let things ruin me, not to let life destroy me and everything. And regardless of all the nonsense that comes my way, man, I just keep going forward and I don't stop. You know, people wanted to deter me, and and for a while it worked. For a good, pretty little while it worked. And I couldn't win. Because I was too busy, bogged down in my mind, and like, oh man, I messed up. I did this, and you know what? I've done messed up so many times in life. It don't really matter. I've got to keep going when other people aren't willing to go. I've got to keep doing what other people aren't willing to do. The world needs people like me, people like you that are watching this video. If you're in that place right now, the world needs you. You know what I'm saying? It needs people like you that refuse to not go forward. Because guess what? The reason why the world's in the condition that it's in is because motherfuckers spend so much time deterring people who are trying to move forward and trying to change things, trying to ruin this matrix, trying to show people a way out of this shit, trying to bring people to a better place. Time to be trying to bring people to a better, way of being and everything like that. And guess what? You know, the fact is, the people like us are needed. You know, we gotta come along, and we gotta get this. We gotta help people get out of this nonsense that they're in, man. And sometimes you feel like, you know, almost like Paul said, is that, by fear you got to pull some people out, hating the garment defiled by flesh. I know I said that, I got that wrong. I try to remember the scripture, but it ain't coming back to me. It's all good. But yeah, the whole thing that I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get comfortable with speaking in front of the camera, because so long, like I said, I've been sitting back and not achieving, not putting myself out there, you know, trying not to be noticed, trying to stay under, trying to stay unnoticed. But and being out here in Georgia, in Northwest Georgia, like I am, make me feel like, well, nobody can get to me. I can't get to nobody. At least people are gonna leave me alone. But I was getting comfortable with not being shit, and that's the wrong place to be in ever. You know. But I understand that time when you gotta lay down. So if you do gotta lay down for a time. But if you hear someone talking in the feature and saying, "Oh, he ain't shit, Josiah ain't shit," they are not lying. I really ain't shit. I never was shit. I'm a motherfucker who never was shit. I never had a chance in life. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those motherfuckers that was always the least of these. You know what I'm saying? I'm the least in my family. I'm the least every single way that you can count it. I just didn't quit. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you were buried. You hear me? I don't care how dark it's been. I don't care how terrible life has been for you. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep moving forward no matter how life is going to try to deter you. There's a lot of people that are going to try to tear you down. Man, they're going to try to destroy you. Reputation, fuck the reputation, man. You know what I'm saying? Frank it up. Frank it up. No, I'm sure the thinking of that commercial, but really you gotta fuck up. You gotta fuck up as many times as you possibly can. You gotta not just a little bit, you gotta fuck up a whole bunch, man. If you make a mistake, that's okay. Make a whole lot more mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, you can't be afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to make mistakes. You gotta keep going, no matter what. And like I said in the beginning, no matter what life throws at you, think about making mistakes. You got to get comfortable with them, though. I was thinking about this video I saw with Kobe Bryant when he was describing making mistakes, and he doesn't mind missing shots. He doesn't mind taking game winners and missing them, and destruction coming, and his percentage ain't the best, and all this little nonsense. Because you know the thing that Kobe Bryant has come to is that Kobe Bryant has, he decided that it was all about putting on that show, giving people that experience. People always talk about how he wasn't efficient, his percentage wasn't the best. This average stuff, average this, he didn't average that. Man, forget that. I'll tell you what Kobe Bryant was decided on. Kobe Bryant put on a show, no matter what, and that's what you got to do. You got to put on a show. You might not be shit. You might be like me, and no one ever thought anything good about you your whole life. But you got to put on a show. Do it no matter what. Win. Do it no matter what, because that is how winning is done. That is what you have to do to go to the next step, to the next level. You got to be willing to fail. You hear people say you got to fall forward, but that can get lost in translation. So let me tell you how it is. Let me tell you what the fuck it is. The fact is, you got to keep on making mistakes. And that way, you get better at doing it the wrong way. And then eventually, you'll get better at doing it the right way. Keep going. Keep going and don't let anyone stop you. And just remember, most people never even try. That is what's going to separate you from everybody else. That is what's going to do for you what it won't do for everybody else. When you're like me and you're a dumb motherfucker and you're a stupid motherfucker, and back in the day they tried to put me in the slow class, I was going to be riding the short bus. They tried to put me in the slow class, right? And I just couldn't learn like everybody else, man. I wasn't able to do anything. And shout out to my father, he wouldn't let him put me in the slow class. He wouldn't let him put me in there. He's a Christian, so he's talking to me. The Lord said that He ain't giving you a spirit of fear, but the power of love and a sound mind and different stuff like that. So he didn't allow people to. He didn't allow me to believe the shit that they tried to say about me early on in my life, man, because man, I really never was shit, but I just kept going forward, man. That's the truth. That's the truth. I never had any shame. And then later on in life, I did allow shit to hit me, because we all have our little sad stories and everything about how life does, crazy shit to us. So some of us a little bit more. I did, diseases, mad diseases, a whole lot of mental illness and stuff like that. And life really fucked me up, it did. And it made me to the point where I didn't even want to keep going, man. I just wanted to go to a place that was safe, where I could just lay down, where I could just be out of the way of all the fire that life was shooting at me, sending my way, and where no one would bother me. And whenever I go back home and stuff like that, I see these little faces and all these little people I used to know. They didn't want shit to do with me, which, I didn't mind at all because I was trying to get rid of those motherfuckers. So, you know, so it wasn't that bad. I'll take it. I used to have, I still do have this thing where I say I don't give up on people, but then these motherfuckers gave up on me. So I'm like, yes, now I ain't got to worry about those motherfuckers. Now I ain't got to find a way to get rid of them. They got rid of me. So I'm telling you right now that no matter how fucked up you are, no matter how much you fucked up in life, no matter how much, no matter where you start from in life, I'm telling you, I was always in poverty. Always, my whole life, never able to do, not able to do shit. I was always the least of these. I was never a damn thing in life. You understand? And then, I went to the military after that, and I got these shots in boot camp, and they fucked my body up. Man, I was never the same, man. Totally made me, man. I wasn't myself anymore, man. Had all kinds of problems, man. Pretty much made me handicapped. And I remember dragging my leg behind me, man. I used to be able to scoot with one leg, and I remember one time talking to my vestibular therapist, and we were talking about going to get me an electric scooter. And I came about what, a night from going with her. We had talked about going and looking for an electric scooter, and something inside of me just said, "Hell no," you know. And no, hell no. And I remember when I was barely able to drag my leg inside behind me, and I had a friend at the time, and he's like, "Man, you ain't gonna use that cane no more." And I'm like, "Nah, man." And he's like, "Can I use it?" Because he's having problems with scoliosis. And I said, "Go ahead, man." And I remember, man, that I went to go to work that next day, man, and there's this. I was dragging my leg behind me, I was barely able to move. And I remember I had this corporal. He looked at me. He's like, "Look, John, where's your cane at?" And I was like, "Man, I ain't gonna walk on it no more. I gave it away." He's like, "Hell no." He's like, "If the Marine Corps says you're gonna walk on the cane, you're gonna walk on the cane. You don't just not walk on the cane." And I said, "Man, I'll crawl before I walk on that cane again." And and to his credit, man, he never bothered me about it again, man. I think he actually respected it, man, because yeah, like I said, man, that was the end of it. And normally the Marine Corps would try to force you, but after that, He didn't fuck with me again. And so, you know, eventually, I kept going on, and eventually, and I was, at nighttime, kept on trying to get to the point where I could run. We had a dirt track around this football field out there near the gym, and I got out there trying to run. I just kept on falling down, falling down repeatedly, and I just, I did give up on that shit, but I didn't give up on doing all the fitness, and I had this dude I knew named Dane Antoine, man, and he helped me out like major crazy, like helped me get my stuff back in the gym and everything like that. And I went in there and I was lifting, and after a time you couldn't even tell I used to have a disease. And then 7 years later, I was able to run. I was able to get back to the point where I could run again. It took some work, but I did it. And and now I'm at the gym, about to get to the point where I'm doing backflips and all kinds of other shit. I'm working on it. Working on all kinds of crazy shit, man. And I was too fucked up, to do some things that I later tried to do. After that, like break dance and some other different stuff. But now I'm at the gym, I'm working on it, and I'm gonna get back to the point where I can do that. You know, and so I'll tell you this. I put myself in a classroom and it just didn't go good. But at the end of the day, man, you just got to keep on going. Like I said, I'm working on that stuff right now. I'm gonna do it because I ain't quitting. And telling you, man, I was working on some stuff when I went to the gym, man, and I'm like, man, damn, I can't do this stuff like I thought I would be able to do. You go to the gym, you lifting weights and stuff, so you're like, man, I'm pretty good, man. You try to do that life stuff, that movement, that able body, that CrossFit kind of stuff, man, that shit, bruh. Let me tell you, I mean, you do it like high intensity on that, man. That shit'll destroy you almost. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to y'all, man, and tell people not to quit, man, because there's a lot of people out there, man, that are gonna give up in life, man. They want to give up, and I'm telling you, man, don't do it, man. I'm telling you that people are gonna come at you. You've got to understand I'm gonna throw out some scriptures, y'all. Um, I'm a big believer in the Bible, but I know it's not easy to tell because you've been listening to the Christians for so long. So you think the cussing out there, the cussing is or the cursing, you think that's what I'm doing, man. You just gotta learn a little bit more, man. Pay a little more attention to me, cause you've been lied to. But yeah, like I said, man, I'm a little bit on some Christian type shit. So, but not a Christian type shit. Let me take that back. I'm on some biblical type shit, and so yeah, man. Like I said, man. Um, shit, I lost my train of thought, but don't quit. That's basically what I'm telling you. Don't quit, man. Don't ever give up, man. A whole lot of people are gonna quit in this life, man. A whole lot of people are giving up, man. And there's more ways to quit. That a lot of people think they're just when a person commits suicide, that's the only way they quit. But no, man, there's a lot more ways to quit, man. I've quit in the past, man. But I'm telling you, don't ultimately quit. That's first and foremost. But then also don't quit and don't quit on the things that matter the most, man. Always go against the grain. At least that's what I've always done, and I recommend it at all times. I'll never stop. I'll be deterred, I'll be destroyed, but I won't stop going against the grain. Um, so I'm gonna encourage you to keep going forward, and I'm gonna encourage you to not quit and everything, and I guess that what I'll say also in the end is this, man, is to make sure that you don't that you don't get to the point where you give any place to the negative, man. Don't give it any way in you. Man, go forward no matter how you fail, no matter what happens to you. Just keep going forward, man. And fail. And stop being ashamed of it. Stop being ashamed to fail. Me posting this video right now, which I'm gonna put on Facebook. Man, this shit was a failure. I didn't do a good job, I know. And guess what? I'm posting this shit.